season for you guys?
I don't know, Jason. If I had the answers, we've been playing like this a long time ago. I guess it's, the season is on the line. We don't play well, or we don't finish strong. We either gonna be 10th seed, 9th seed, or who knows what. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, figure it out. And we got 10, 11 games left to dig deep and get it done. And we also been.
Can you make?
I've been hurting. It's been a long season, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't experience because you're not traveling and you're not going through some of the daily stuff that we have to go through.
Yeah.
Next question is coming from Casey Holdahl with Trailblazers.com.
CJ, Norman mentioned it in his post game with Brooks, so I wanted to ask you: were you guys at all motivated by some of the comments that the Grizzlies had, not only after the second game, but actually during those first two games?
Some of those younger guys, they don't know no better, so they're excited. They play hard. They competed. They kicked our ass, so they had a right to talk and say some things they said, do some things they did, and we came on mid-court and we kicked their ass. So that's what it is.
Aaron Fentress, the Oregonian.
Hey, CJ, Damian last night sort of almost declared that you guys had to be willing to get your hands dirty and get out there and play defense and play hard and change that narrative. It carried over again tonight. Was there a team discussion about this? What has gotten you guys to play like this defensively last two nights?
I think we're getting in playoff mode, understanding the severity of each possession, understanding the scatter report, play a team 3 times in 5 or 6 days. You got to be locked in on the walkthrough, understanding the plays, understanding that Ja likes to get to his left hand, understanding that, big fella Valanciunas his left shoulder, right hand. You just got to kind of lock in the little nuances of the game and then go execute. And I think when we make teams like that play in the half court, we'll be in a good position. We turn the ball over and allow them to get out and run, and it makes the game more difficult. But tonight, we did what needed to be done. Took care of business.
Thanks.
Krista Saltis, Sport DNA.
CJ, how many steps in the right direction were those back-to-back wins for you?
We needed them. It would have been nice to have them 5 games ago, but we still got time to kind of right some of our wrongs and finish this season strong, get ready for the playoffs. So you want to be playing your best basketball towards the end of the season, and I think we're headed in that direction.
Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
CJ, we are not traveling, and so you said there's some things that we're not seeing because we're not. Would you like to help pull the curtain back on that a little bit and talk about something? Was there some event that happened that might have caused some change, or what's going on?
There's tons of events, brother. We testing all the time. Crazy hours of the day. We had a what was that? Noon? What time did we play that early game? 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So we tested the day before. We tested at 9 a.m. We tested at 11 p.m. And then we tested at 9 a.m. again. We had a bunch of issues with our tests. I wasn't able to get treatment. There's just stuff that happens that you guys just don't know about, where you might get an invalid or false positives. Like, there's just so much that happens in a day-to-day. Like, it just drives you crazy. And mentally, it's just a lot, man. Like, there's just certain stuff that you can't really prepare for until you go through like a COVID-type season, where like you got to go back to your car, or you just sit in a room by yourself and kind of wait on your fate. And you think that, that going through a season, obviously we're happy to be able to play and provide for our families, but it's still mentally exhausting. It's physically exhausting. There's no off days because you have to go test every day, and we're going to fly to another city and test. It's just like, it's just a lot, man. It's hard to deal with. And I'm not making excuses because every team's going through it. The Clippers and the Lakers and the Knicks, and they're playing noon games and they're tested at midnight and they got hour drives. So it's a lot, and we're trying to be as safe as possible, but it's just stressful, and it's a different type of stress that you're just not accustomed to, especially when you might be positive, or you may have to quarantine or whatever the case may be. So this is the most difficult season I've ever gone through, and I think it's the same for a lot of players and coaches.
But can you enlighten me too? I mean, you guys go on the road, and it looked like a different team the last 2 games. There was a real alertness and attention to detail, more effort. It just seemed like a different team. Was there something that precipitated that?
We understand. We need to have a sense of urgency, not make excuses, and kind of dig deep and look in the mirror. I think far too often we talk about ways to elicit change instead of just doing it. And I think now we're just doing it. It also helps when you don't have to test at 6 a.m. Eastern time or 6 a.m. Pacific time when you fly to the East Coast. Getting a 10 a.m. testing time instead of a 7 a.m. Is a lot better. So hopefully we can continue to have those 10, 15 testing times instead of 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Jason Quick with The Athletic.
So CJ, do you feel something has changed with the team, or do you think it's too early to say that?
I think we're in a good spot mentally, physically, playing the right type of basketball. Defensively, we're taking strides. Obviously, playing against different opponents is important. We got a tough schedule down the stretch, and it'll be a good challenge for us. I think it's good that we had to go through this adversity. I think a lot of us do better when our backs are against the wall anyway. So we really get to see what people are made of. We really get to see what type of mentality people have, and when people cower away, some people rise to the occasion. I think we got a lot of guys that like to rise to the occasion. So it's going to be a fun end of the season.